Ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. Today is the day. Season 1 of Modern Warfare 3 and Warzone is dropping, and with it we got the 1.34 title update. It's around 30 gigs in size on all platforms. This is a major update, and we now have the full-on patch notes for it. So you already know we are diving into them in detail. As we get into it, if you enjoy the video, do me a favor, drop a like on it. It would be seriously appreciated. And if you're new here, or if you simply have not subscribed yet, around 50% of viewers watching are not subbed yet. So if that's you, let's change that. Every single day I got you covered with news, updates, meta breakdowns, patch notes. It's all here, so feel free to hit that sub button and turn on those post notifications. So here we are, Wednesday, December 6th, our patch notes for multiplayer, zombies, and Warzone. Our initial page here is going to be multiplayer and zombies. We also have a separate list for Warzone as well. So of course we know about the main content already. We've seen a lot of this throughout the various blog posts and reveals and trailers over the past couple of days. So nothing too crazy here. We've got new perks with the assassin vest, which I'm not really a huge fan of. It's basically Ghost Pro. We've got new streaks, new maps, new modes, new weapons. Of course, is like one of the main things for the season. The Ram 7, the Stalker, and the Storm Ender are all available through the battle pass. We've got a bunch of new aftermarket parts coming all throughout the season via the weekly challenges that we've already discussed, new operators throughout the season as well, new events with a whole holiday event coming up here. Zombie Santa is coming to town, the new battle pass, of course, new PC features as well. So starting first with multiplayer, with quality of life updates and new features. Player health and stamina are now represented by dynamic bars on the HUD. It's only available in multiplayer and zombies, though not in Warzone. Hopefully we do get that stamina bar in Warzone. Faction assignment now appears a splash at the start of each match. Added upper leg damage and empty reload quickness stats to the detailed widget. That's awesome to see. I love that. Increased decimal precision on the flinch resistance stat in the detailed widget. Added icons in the gunsmith to represent which title an attachment originates from, whether it's MW2 or MW3. Reduce the volume of multi-kill and metal splash sound effects. We've got a bunch of different bug fixes here. An S&D hovering a bomb site on the attack map will no longer reveal when a player is defusing. Addressed multiple issues in private matches that cause players to be kicked. Hovering an equipped kill streak will no longer kick the player back to the main menu. They resolved a font rendering issue. Improved performance of social features. Resolved an issue in which incorrect weapons would be featured in the overlay of kill cams. The kill counter now properly functions with streaks beyond 120. Good grief. Reduced hitching that infrequently occurred while transitioning between menus. Addressed an issue that caused the application to freeze when editing a loadout. Resolved a crash that could occur prior to viewing the after action report. Addressed an issue that caused a crash while reporting a player. The lockpick operator can now be equipped where available without using the quick equip option. Scrolling menus while in split screen will no longer result in the cursor appearing off screen, and they improved the readability of the timer below the event tab. For gameplay with movement, they added a delay to the following rapid stance transitions to prevent exploitable repetition. Crouch to stand and prone to stand. That's the snaking nerf that we talked about the other day. Improved spawn protection against enemy streaks and equipment. In hardpoint, several adjustments have been made to improve the flow of combat and increase control of team-owned areas. We've introduced a delay to stance transition to combat a movement known as snaking. We'll monitor that. I think that was supposed to be up here, but regardless, there were some spawn updates too. For weapons and attachments, they decreased the hip fire spread penalty incurred while firing and moving for all SMGs, so that's pretty big there. For rifles on the MTZ, they increased the maximum hip fire spread while standing, increased the maximum hip fire spread while crouched, increased the hip fire spread penalty while firing and while moving. On the MTZ Natter Heavy Short Barrel, they decreased the hip fire spread, and on the Bruin Thunder V9 stock, they decreased the hip fire spread. So mainly just changes to the MTZ's hip fire overall there. For battle rifles, for the Bass B, they increased the damage multipliers in semi-auto to be stronger now. Lower torso is up and hand and arm are up. For the Sidewinder, they decreased the ADS speed. That's pretty solid there. On the Tempest Predator barrel, they increased the gun kit control benefits, so it has more control now. On the Huntsman integrated suppressor barrel, they increased the gun kit control benefits. And then on the Borealis rear grip, they increased the gun kit control as well. So more recoil benefits for Sidewinder attachments. It definitely needs them. For SMGs here on the Striker, they decreased the sprint to fire time, so that's gonna be even faster now. Decreased the ADS time as well, so it's just gonna be more aggressive. And on the Stubby barrel, they added a 9% ADS ADS time benefit. On the Swarm, they decreased the sprint to fire and the ADS time, so that's faster now. On the Striker 9, they decreased the sprint to fire and ADS time. On the Stubby Barrel here, same deal with that ADS time buff. So movement buffs all around for those SMGs. For shotguns on the Lockwood, tac stance will no longer reduce the pellet count spread. That was a big issue there. For marksmans, the MCW 6.8, you'll no longer have a broken ADS animation if you had the full auto and 60 round drum. For melees on the Riot Shield, they increased the damage, so this will always be a 2-hit kill now, no matter what. They also added a 10% movement speed penalty while stowed. They also adjusted various different attachments. The DL Breacher device decreased the hipfire spread benefit and resolved an issue that prevented one-hit melee kills in round-based modes. On the tactical vertical grip from Bruin, they decreased the hipfire spread benefit. And on hollow point ammunition, they decreased the inflicted sprint penalty time from 800 to 200. That's a huge change there. On MW2 carry forward stuff here, increase the reserve weapon ammo for all weapons rather, so you're not going to have just 2 mags or whatever it was for every single MW2 gun. They decreased the hipfire spread benefit of the underbarrel vertical grips like Merc and whatnot. They decreased the hipfire spread benefit of applicable lasers as well. For assault rifles on the M4, they increased the max damage overall, so that's its close range. They decreased the head and neck damage multipliers, though. On the TAC V, increased lower torso, leg, and foot damage multipliers. On the SMGs for the Vaznev, they increased the near to medium damage up by 1. And on the ISO 45, they increased the max damage. That's the close damage range, so the ISO 45 is going to be even stronger in MP now. For shotguns, the broadside got a far to medium damage range buff. Then they also decreased the ADS spread slightly. For LMGs, the RAL decreased the ADS time a decent chunk there, the sprint to fire time and the tac sprint to fire time, so the RAL will be a bit faster now. Then on the Icarus, they increased the maximum damage range and decreased the head damage multiplier. For the SPR, they increased the max damage range, decreased the ADS time. On handguns, the Basilisk, they increased the max damage range, the near to medium damage range, and the far to medium damage range, so that's got better range benefits all around now. For progression here, corrected unlock requirement descriptions for multiple attachments, revised conditions for multiple unlocks that cause attachments to be unavailable at an expected weapon level. Associated weaponry will now properly include the camo unlock splashes. Player level obviously is up to 250 for this season. For customization, they increased the animation rate of the priceless and interstellar completionist camos, so they're going to be more movement based now. You'll notice that more in game. That's pretty cool. For maps, derail, swapped attacker and defender spawns. On estate, they improved the bullet pen through the staircase in the lodge and adjusted collision in various spots. On high rise, they improved the ambient audio reverberation and deprioritized spawn points distant from an objective and hard point. On Karachi, players will now spawn on the right side in Cutthroat. For Quarry, they added collision near the offices to prevent an out of the map exploit and address some spawn issues in hard points. Skid Row, enemy player name tags are no longer visible through certain surfaces. Terminal, they added additional spawn points, improved ability to gauge spawn selection quality, and relocated a spawn that placed you outside of the playable area. Scrapyard also got a few spawn updates here. Sub base got better audio and spawn updates. Orlov military base, they improved the AI bot ability to navigate the environment in Invasion. On Spearhead, they added collision to prevent players from getting under the map, I think it is. Added collision near the corner shop to protect spawns. Addressed an exploit involving environmental turrets that allowed players to reach unintended locations as well. For modes, they also made several updates. For Ground War, the pregame lobby countdown timer will no longer reset when a player leaves. In SND, they increased the XP earned for various different things. Kills, assists, shield assists, headshots, plants, defuses, so on and so forth. They also made some slight updates to War. The tank escort phase time has been limited. That's been decreased. Players who join a progress in match can no longer be placed on a full team. For equipment, the throwing star addressed an issue that allowed one-hit kills without a headshot, so you have to hit the throwing star in the head. The EMP grenade prompt to remove the tracker will no longer persist after death. For field upgrades, for deployable cover, previous deployments will now be destroyed upon new deployment, and the trophy system, the Mosquito drone, will no longer be targeted. For kill streaks on the Jug Recon, they addressed an exploit to fire loadout weapons with unlimited ammo. On the PA, players now properly look through the binoculars, and then on the remote turret, they implemented a safeguard measure to prevent players from becoming stuck with that in your hand. They also updated the NSTV and the Razor tank a little bit as well. We then get into zombies. Obviously, the main thing here is going to be the story content with Act 4 and the Dark Ether Rifts, the new Wonder Weapon, the new schematics and prestige challenges we've talked about in the past couple of videos as well. Global changes, Season 1 updates are not limited to just zombies, so reference the global section for weapon balancing there. Urzikstan, various visual map fixes. For weapons, the Wonder Weapon, the Scorcher's launch ability will automatically fire when a player reaches their maximum charge now. For the DG58, they addressed an issue with camo customization. Then all weapon cases, they closed a duplication glitch. For missions, Hostile Takeover was updated a bit. They addressed an issue preventing some safe passages there. Merc Cleanup, mercenaries killed from long distance inside Merc camps now progress that. For Shock, this mission now requires players to shock 5 separate special zombies instead of shocking the same zombie multiple times. That might be a bit harder. And then Storm the Castle, the required mission item will always drop when you end up killing Legacy there. For gameplay updates, contracts, they updated the Defend Ground Station 1, addressed an issue that prevented the timer appearing incorrectly for players if you previously completed one. Mercenaries will now continue to fight the player after completing it as well. The Eliminate Bounty Target, HVTs lured far away from their original spawn location in an attempt to exploit their behavior, now return faster and heal. Outlast, enemies no longer spawn if players are not progressing the contract. That's a bummer for XP benefits. Raid Weapon Stash, enemies no longer spawn if you don't progress. Spore Control, adjusted spores to prevent them from spawning on a player, resulting in an instant death. So that's a pretty good one there. Spores are going to be great for XP now, though. Acquisitions, General, addressed an issue where players could store more acquisitions than intended. Ether Tools addressed an issue that prevented those from applying if a player was driving a vehicle. Ammo Mods addressed an issue, same thing there with the driving a vehicle. For Percocola's Tombstone, addressed an issue where this could spawn under the map, an issue where it could spawn in the center of the map where you did not die. Addressed an issue where sometimes players did not obtain their essence and then closed duplication glitches. Brain Rot, players will now receive essence when a brain rotted zombie kills other zombies or dies. Looting, various fixes for locations on the map where you couldn't actually loot. Exfil, there's going to be more formidable enemies, so there's going to be specials at exfils now. Also, there's going to be more zombies coming in season to the exfil, so that'll be nice to see as well. In general, ammo caches now fully refill. Addressed an issue that allowed players to die instantly if they ran and slid in a doghouse. Players will no longer be able to spawn and hide inside of a doghouse. Closed an out-of-bounds location, and then also addressed an issue where player selected operator skins would change in a vehicle. For enemies, Disciples addressed multiple issues that allowed Disciples to behave erratically, such as being stuck in the air. Stormcaller addressed an issue where he would die instantly from an ether pulse, so that was not intended apparently. Hellhound Flame Particles will now disappear. Zombies in general adjusted spawns to prevent them from spawning on top of fences or taking incorrect paths. Light Armored Zombies, they adjust an issue where they received more headshot damage than intended. For equipment, the Experimental Gas Grenade, the damage against the worm has been reduced where you could just cheese that. Decoy Grenades, they reduced the number equipped, and then the duration as well. For streaks here, the jug was changed a little bit, so it could actually destroy the helicopter. They fixed that. Then also, you can no longer kill yourselves with sentry turrets. For camos, Borealis and Bioluminescent, they increased the animation here too, so that's awesome to see. Player health and stamina are now represented there. It's basically the same UI and UX updates as over in multiplayer, alongside a handful of small fixes there. For progression, players can now unlock the first step for reaching level 55 in Modern Warfare Zombies. For camos, we released a fix that allowed players to complete Golden, Enigma, and Ivory with blueprints and custom mods. For audio, friendly fire operator chatter is less frequent. And then for stability, there have been some crashing instability fixes there. Now let's head on over to Warzone. So obviously a ton of stuff for just MP and zombies, but we also have Warzone specific patch updates this year, patch note updates this year. So obviously we're going to have the new events, the battle pass here, the new weapons that we covered as well, the various different aftermarket parts and different updates and upgrades that we have going on there throughout the season. We have Urzikstan as our main new map now, replacing Al Mazrah. The drivable train is going to be a new POI. There's horizontal zip lines. All the POIs, obviously, from zombies that we've been playing are going to be there, just obviously in a different lighting, sort of a different tone here. I love the look of the map. It's pretty cool, and I'm very excited to jump in and see how it plays. We've got a new gulag, and there's going to be different map variants for this as well. Players now have a chance to encounter one of 3 possible gulag map variants. Each map offers 3 lanes for 1v1 gameplay. The overall gameplay of each map variant will remain similar, but sight lines will change. So there's either going to be a box with various cover and pathways, an open layout with light cover and circularly encountered center with limited access, or a fairly open center. So this actually might be changing depending on your gulag. That's interesting how it's not going to be the same every single time. There's new public events. Go again and you get another chance in the gulag. Cash grab, more cash drops on the gulag floor. Locked and loaded gives you full armor and 2 upgraded guns. And then the overtime ascender is how you win, and you can loot after you actually win your gulag, which is pretty crazy. Battle Royale modes, returning mode, obviously BR on Urzikstan with 100 players. It's going to be a 20-minute match. They've already talked about the pacing here. The pacing is faster than ever. Try it for yourself before you say 100 players is too little. We're going to have to see how the pacing is like with the faster zones and more ways to actually recuperate and regain in a match itself. We've got Resurgence as a returning mode. Player counts are going to be similar to what they were before. Urzikstan Resurgence is going to be an LTM for these first couple of days as well, with smaller POIs cut down there. Then Rotation Resurgence will be back as well. Plunder is back too. A 15-minute match with 100 players is going to be very exciting to play that. Lockdown is coming in season, and that's pretty standard for Vondel as well. We also get our playlist. So today and tomorrow, we're going to have just Urzikstan, Battle Royale, Resurgence, and Plunder on Urzikstan. And then starting on the 8th, we're going to have Battle Royale on Urzikstan, Resurgence on Urzikstan, and then the Rotation, and then Vondel and Ashika, and then Plunder on Urzikstan too. For weapons, the following weapons launched with MW3 are new to Warzone with Season 1, Assault Rifles, SVA. Okay, so it's just going over all the new MW3 guns there. We already know how all of these work, obviously, and all those are going to be available on top of the MW2 guns. General adjustments, we have the backup pistol now. Whenever you're in the water or on a ledge, you're always going to have a pistol there. Locational damage modifiers have been flattened to provide a more consistent time to kill. Headshot multipliers are broadly decreased and arms now match the torso. So just simplifying all the damage modifiers there. Sniper damage, the Cat AMR will one-shot to the head at any distance. Is it just the Cat, though? That seems interesting. The Riot Shield slows movement when it's equipped on the back. Weapon tuning. With the additional statistical knowledge you're able to receive while swapping between mods, providing an impressive amount of weapon meta building. Weapon tuning has been removed. Obviously, we knew that as well. Launcher damage. All launchers have been adjusted in regards to their damage and interaction with vehicles. This includes most launchers will destroy lighter vehicles in one shot. The RPG, Pila, and Strela will destroy most medium-sized vehicles in 2 shots. The Joker will destroy almost everything in 1 shot. The RGL and Strela will not cause damage to immediately explode vehicles. The Pila will not cause most medium or large damage vehicles to immediately explode. The RPG and Joker will cause most vehicles to explode immediately. So just some slight changes there to make launchers a little bit less dominant against cars. Classic red dots are obviously back on the minimap if you're using unsuppressed guns. Reload cancel is back. Water combat, it's more visible now with the backup pistol and everything. Redeploy weapons. Being bought back now grants a weapon that changes based on the current circle number, so you'll always have a better weapon later on into the game. Adjusted features for all modes. Ground loot and supply box pool. Loot found throughout our map will include MW2 and MW3 guns. There's going to be weapon rarity now back as well. Ground loot is more spread out, so it's easier to actually pick up. The revive pistol has been removed from the loot pool, but may make a return in a future season. Legendary audio. The guitar celebration returns when you find a legendary loot now. The backpack situation here is going to be awesome because, as we can see, we're going to have ammo slots for every ammo category. You pick it up once, then it auto fills all the way up, so you'll be able to carry all of that right away, which is really cool to see. The backpack and loadout will now navigate wrapping all the way around to one side, so that's cool. You can start over here and move back to the left if you need. Dedicated ammo slots, as mentioned. The Gulag entry kit's going to be an item that you can actually pick up and share with your team now. You can stow it if you want. Identical kill streak auto equip as before. Gulag and redeploy tracker. Backpack now displays if you have one of those active. Navigation pings, the ability to ping doors with a specific yellow warning has been removed to alleviate frustrations. Kill cam pings are now going to show up. So in a kill cam, you'll see if you were live pinged or something, so you can see if that enemy was tracking you for a reason or not. There's going to be interact distance. It's the interaction distance for buy stations in the gas has been extended to 30 meters, up from 10 meters. The icon visibility, if you can see a buy station on the minimap, that means it's active. If you can't see it, it means it's too far in the gas. We also have loadout updates. The price is different. So for solos, it's 7,500, duos 10K, trios 2,500, quads 15K, basically down from everything in Warzone 2. The distinctive white visual design of a loadout crate from 2020 makes its return, so the loadout markers from Warzone 1 are back. I love that. Solid update there for sure. You can manually now equip the gas mask whenever you want, whether you're in the gas or not. You can also stow it as well. The animation no longer interrupts gameplay. Most important, players will only hear the heavy breathing while in the gas. They also adjusted the gas mask overlay so it's clearer to see when you do have the mask on, so I like that as well. The circle pacing is going to be faster than before now, so the close time has been reduced all across the board for circle 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. It's a 140-second reduction overall. Total match time now is 20 minutes and 20 seconds maximum there. Gas damage is also increased 1 per tick there, so you will take more damage in the gas. The redeploy drones will now remain stationary in the gas for up to 45 seconds. Drones will move slightly faster when repositioning. Drones will begin to leave after circle 5 as they are too deep in the gas as is. The redeploy drone's catapult distance has been increased, so you can go further now. That's pretty cool as well. Death's Door, the low player health, the audio and visual notifications there are going to be less obnoxious now, basically. The visual overlay when low health now triggers at 40% health instead of 55. Then the increased transparency is mentioned. Parachutes, operators from MW3 will deploy with a new default parachute texture. Then also there's a spawn protection timer change here. It's only 2.5 seconds of spawn protection instead of 10. That applies everywhere except for Resurgence. The infill height is actually decreasing for Battle Royale, so that's a bit different there. I don't think it'll have a huge impact on gameplay because obviously it's a new map. Second chance mechanics, the spawn rate for Gulag and redeploy is increased. Strongholds are no longer guaranteed. These are public events now, so you don't always have strongholds in your game. However, black sites will spawn at the beginning of each match. The location will not be revealed until it's been unlocked or found by another squad. The boss will now guarantee to drop a deployable buy station. Players may find black site keys via ground loot, so you don't need a stronghold to get into it if you do find a key. UAV towers are back in plunder now. Cash balance they're going to be monitoring, and they'll change that as needed. Perks. The perk system in Warzone continues with operators choosing from either a preset or custom perk package. In addition, a number of perks that exist in multiplayer have been implemented as default movement behaviors, as we already know. But we do have a bunch of new perks. Shrouded gives you that smoke grenade whenever you go downed. Flex gives you delayed triggered explosives and also warns you of nearby enemies and their equipment and whatnot. So it's basically like Engineer in a sense. Due to a known issue, this perk appears as faculty in the menu, though. We got Resolute. When taking damage by gunfire, it grants you a movement speed boost. Stalker gives you better strafe and ADS speed. Payout gives you more money with contracts. Escapist gives you better movement if you're downed, prone, or crouched. Prime gives you better accuracy and time to ADS while jumping. Irradiated gives you better movement in the gas if you're taking damage there. Shrapnel is back. Explosive damage delays enemy health regen, slows enemy movement. Mountaineer reduces fall damage. Mechanic allows you to repair vehicles faster and fuel up faster as well. General adjustments, Overkill is now a default perk, as we know. Perk unlocks, those are unlocked by player progression 1 to 55. You'll get everything there. Default perks are Scavenger, Battle Hardened, Payout, and Flex, or Faculty as it's known on the menu there. Adjusted perks, Ghost. Blocks detection by UAV, enemy radar sources, and heartbeat sensors, now updated to require movement, so you can't sit still and have Ghost active. Can be acquired via the Stealth Plate Carrier. Those are back. Bird's Eye, your UAV killstreak portable radar and UAV tower shows the heading of the enemy for your squad. In addition, enemy unsuppressed gunshots will show headings. Detects ghosted players, can be acquired via a comms plate carrier, so that does counter ghost. Survivor, faster revive speed, reduced health regen delay, reduced cash lost on death, decreases health regen a little bit, then also can be acquired via loot as the medic plate carrier. Cold-Blooded will now negate the mark from Combat Scout. Battle Hardened now reduces the effects of frangible bullets and abilities. Double time increases tac sprint duration and refresh time. No longer increases prone and crouch speeds. Scavenger once again provides an additional armor plate in the Scavenger bag. We've got the new and returning plate carriers, tempered medic and comms, and stealth are all there this year as well. Now movement we've already discussed. Slide canceling is back. We've got the default movement of various different perks from multiplayer, the tac pads, commando gloves, the quick grip gloves, and the climbing boots partially there. Tac stance is going to be here in Warzone now. ADS while sliding is going to be a full-on thing. Jump higher, faster, and jump ADS quicker. Reduce the slowdown when landing from the first jump and reduce the sprint out delay after jumping. So B-hopping will be a bit more noticeable in Warzone. Slide canceling is back. Slide distance is now impacted by the incline of the surface. So if you're trying to slide uphill, you won't slide as far as you would downhill. Contracts, the big game bounty is back. This will give you an advanced UAV if you complete it. Scavenger contracts are back as well, so those will be great. They also guarantee you a plate carrier as well with the completion there. General adjustments, the activation for contracts is going to be more seamless now. They updated the contract spawning for later in the match, and there's also new icons for better visibility. Adjusted contracts, the bounty now gives a single UAV ping when you actually complete that. Intel, you can capture faster if multiple squad members are present. Most Wanted always gives you a Gulag entry kit. Signal intelligence for Vondel exclusively. The passive income per player is now 10 payments of 750 instead of 7,500 over 3 minutes and 20 seconds. Previously it was 5,000, so just more money there. New public events, the restock supply sweep gives you more crates, obviously. Flyby drops in portable buy stations randomly in the match, so you have more buy stations if that happens. Strongholds, as mentioned as well. Fire sale is now always a 50% discount. We've got new equipment, the Breacher drone, which could be pretty crazy. I'm really curious to see if that's going to be broken or OP or what. The thermobaric grenade is also here, which is pretty rough. The EMD grenade, which is tracking enemies' hits, is basically going to be like a snapshot for your mini-map. The scatter mine is device here. They've also adjusted various equipment. The drill charge, the max damage has been increased and the stick damage has been increased. Claymore's max damage increased. There was a known issue where Claymores will deal less damage than intended, so that'll be updated in the future. The frag close damage increased, mid-range damage increased, Semtex close and far damage increased, thermite tick damage increased. Tax smokes, the duration's been reduced. Stims now grant you that speed boost like in Warzone 1. The experimental gas will now deal 5 damage per second, 3 to those with a resistant mask. Shock stick damage increased. The radius was also increased. Snapshots highlight duration increased by just a little bit, 0.4 seconds there basically. Battle Rage now mitigates 10% of damage taken under the effects. The regen portion of the buff can be canceled early by taking damage. Flashes now only target those looking at the device at the time of it exploding, so you can turn away from flashes like in Counter-Strike, for instance. For field upgrades here, the heartbeat sensor is now categorized as a field upgrade, not an equipment. Pulse every 2.5 seconds, increase the range to 55 meters for that. The portable radar pulses 76 meters instead of 38. That's a huge update there. Armor and ammo boxes, there's no delay when you pick those up. For streaks, we've got the Guardian as a new streak. I'm not a huge fan of that. Those could be a bit obnoxious. The Mosquito drone is also going to be pretty crazy, but it's going to show on the map and you can shoot that down. For vehicles, we've got the Coyote as a new one. This should be easier to drive than some of the others. The start time input delay has now been decreased by 50%. In helicopter collision, the damage profiles have been updated to better reflect collision when close to other objects. We already know the combat record is going to be fully resetting here. All stats are resetting. In Season 1, we'll only be able to see Battle Royale stats. Then in Season 2, we'll have Battle Royale and Resurgence. Then Season 3, Battle Royale, Resurgence, and Plunder. But all of that's going to be tracking from day one, even if you can't see Resurgence and Plunder on the menu. All in-world icons will now fade away if the player ADSs. That's awesome. You won't be blocked by loadout markers or anything like that. Improved headshot hit marker. Those have been better, improved for better readability there, and then also include the new MW3 sound effect. The icons have better visibility. All score events are now in yellow. The supply box visuals are going to be more obvious now, whether you are opening a legendary crate, common, reusable, favorite, whatever the case may be. Armor plate color is going to be different now. For tempered, it'll be orange. Nameplates, allied nameplates have their visibility improved with a clearer outline of the player's name. Then perk packages are a bit more clear as well. They also have several issues already listed. The faculty perk Resurgence rotation map visual is not appearing in the UI yet. The after action report will show default calling cards. A player detonating a bomb drone may encounter an error sometimes. Although detailed in the patch notes above, kill cam pings will not be active until later in the launch week. If a player crashes out a private match and given the option to rejoin, they will not connect. So they are already aware of those. So many changes for Warzone, for multiplayer, for zombies. Probably the biggest seasonal update ever in terms of Call of Duty. And that's going to wrap things up. If you guys enjoyed the video, do me a favor, drop a like on it. And if you're new here, be sure to hit that subscribe button on your way out. But once again, thank you so much for tuning in. And until next time, take it easy. Have an awesome rest of your day. And I'll catch you later. Peace out.